Ah, there we go. Hello, and welcome to another edition of the Mexican Soccer Show Live. I'm Cesar Hernandez. Obviously, not Wiso. Wiso wishes that he can grow out a beard just like mine. But I'm just messing with you, Wiso. If you're watching, you might be watching. Obviously, if Wiso was Ochoa, I'd be Talavera. If Wiso was Chicharito, I'd be Neri Castillo. All right. So first off, we got Tom Marshall over here. How you doing, Tom?
Good, Cesar. Yeah, looking forward to the game. I'm not sure how exciting it would be. It might be a lie to say it'll be really exciting, but it'll be emotional. And I think two teams that are very even, so I don't think there'll be much between them tonight.
And most definitely will be. And for someone who's probably going to be very emotional during the match, we're going to go over to Jony Rico. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good now. I mean, this is no Cesar beard, but I got the goatee going.
Very nice. Very nice, very nice. Okay, so we only have about 29 minutes, so we're gonna go straight into it. So, do you guys have the starting 11 for the game today? So, yeah, both.
Yeah.
So let's first go to Tom. Tom, can you give us a starting 11 for Tigres?
Yes, Guzman in goal, the Argentine international. Estrada right back, Ayala and Rivas at centre back. Rivas replacing Jorginho, who was injured in I think the quarter-final. Torres Nilo in the left back, and then in midfield, Arevalo for the Uruguay international that people know from the World Cup. It looks like Dueñas will be there as well in a kind of dual holding role. And then further forward, I think it'll be Torres on the left, Damian Alvarez on the right, and Gerardo Lugo just behind Guerrón. So I mean, no Burbano. I think Burbano was started the last leg. No Hercules Gomez. He started both of the quarterfinal and semi-final first legs. So I'm not sure. I think there's not too much to read into this team here compared to what we've seen from Tigres in the other games. I think they're going to try and keep it as tight as possible, and they're going to kind of wait for any mistake that comes up, and they're going to try and I don't know. I think the word that I like to use to describe Tigres is wily. They're a wily team. They just sit there, they wait, and they try and wait for that opportunity to come up to strike and hit you.
Definitely wily, especially with although they haven't been scoring recently, they have been doing pretty well defensively in the playoffs as well. So now we're going to go over to Johnny with America's starting lineup. So, Johnny, what are the starting 11?
Well, we got Liga MX final hero, Moises Munoz in goal.
Final hero.
He's a goal-scoring threat, if you guys don't remember. Ventura Alvarado starts at right back. Paolo Goltz and Pablo Cesar Aguilar are the central defenders. Osmar Mares, the left back. In midfield, we have Jesus Molina and Osvaldito Martinez. Out wide in the right is Luis Angel Quick Mendoza, scored 2 goals in Monterrey last week. Hopefully he can do that again. On the left side, we got Miguel Superlayun. And up top, we have Oribe Peralta and Luis Gabriel Rey.
Interesting, especially Alvarado, who is, if any of you aren't aware of it, he is an American. And if I remember correctly, John, is he from Phoenix, I think?
Yeah.
I think he was born in Phoenix, so that's interesting to see him starting. And I think I saw Tom put a post up that said that Jurgen Klinsmann should be watching today.
Oh, yes, I spoke to Ventura earlier in the week, and he said he's very much open to playing for either national team, Mexico or the US. I think he moved on from Phoenix to Mexico City when he was 15 years old. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he might be the only player in this whole final that's starting today that is from one of the two teams' youth systems. The only one I'm not sure of is Rivas from Tigres. I'm not sure if he came through.
We have a Tigres youth system player.
Yeah.
Jesus Molina.
Yeah, you've got a couple, haven't you? I think. No, just one. Yeah.
Jesus Molina came out of the Tigres youth system, played for Tigres before moving on to America.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to go to our first question of the day, which actually I would say that I created these, but I'm going to be honest. Tom actually created most of these. He's our striker. If I'm the head captain, team captain today, Tom is our striker. All right, so
more of a sweeper.
You're more of a sweeper.
Why would I be the obnoxious assistant coach on the sideline?
I thought you were the goalkeeper. I thought you played goalkeeper.
I did, I can very see myself as a goalkeeper.
Well,
One of those loud goalkeepers like Osvaldo Sanchez used to be.
Well, I see myself as more as a defensive midfield. So we're gonna be a very, very defensive team if it's just the three of us. All
Oh
right,
God,
so,
we're Tigres.
yeah. All right, so let's talk about Tigres. So Tigres, they've gone 14 games without a loss. It's very impressive. But at the same time, they have yet to win a single game during the playoffs, and I think they've only scored 2 goals in their last 4 games. It's a very simple question. I'm going to go to Johnny for this one first. But Johnny, do you think they deserve to be in the final?
Yes, they do. Because they won. They were the best. They were, along with America, the best team during the regular season. 31 points speaks for itself. Not many people like the defensive tactics, but hey, it works. And if something works on the field, if you know your opponents and you use that to your advantage, that's you deserve to be there.
Okay. And then what about you, Tom? What are your thoughts on Tigres at this point?
Yeah, I mean, I think, there's obviously been a lot of criticism in Mexico about the style of play and about them not scoring many goals, and I think this Liguilla has been one of the lowest ever in terms of goals scored. But I mean, I don't think you should judge football on just goals scored. I mean, when I used to play as a kid, it was like there's some games that are like 8-5 and stuff, and you're like, it wasn't an indication of the quality, I can tell you. I mean, I think Tigres have managed both games very well. I mean, I think that the second game against Toluca, I thought they played an extremely good game, and I thought they were the better team, and I thought they restricted Toluca, and there's a skill in that as well, and I think Tuca Ferretti's got a very mature team, a team that knows exactly what they're doing, and I think it's a bit over-exaggerated, this defensiveness. Yeah, they are kind of a team that looks not to concede first, but it's not kind of extreme. You know what I mean? It's not like 10 players behind the ball at all times. It's just more about, right, organisation first, and then we go forward as a unit, we defend as a unit, and what's wrong with that? I think that it's up to the other team to get over that, and you look at probably the most 2 attacking teams in the Liga MX right now, Pachuca for me and León, and they they went out, and León didn't make the playoffs, and Pachuca went out in the first round. So, I mean, it's all right. It's all good saying you don't like Tigres' style, but I mean, it's up to these more attacking teams to get over it.
And at least in the games that I saw, it looks like they did definitely control the midfield. I think more of the problems they had, perhaps we would have different conversations if they weren't so, I think, a little poor in the final third. And I think they were doing very well in the midfield the past couple of games. And actually, really quickly before I go to the next question, Tom, when you were younger, were you actually a sweeper, or what position did you play growing up?
I was.
I just want to know. Everybody wants to know. What position did you play?
Played centre back, which was weird because I'm only small. But I had a big lad next to me, and he was like big in the air.
Did all the work.
He was big in the air but clumsy, so I just used to kind of sweep up behind him. We were brilliant.
All right. Before we go too much on a tangent about our youth soccer careers or youth football careers, we'll go over to Johnny. So this is a very America-centric question. Right now, America has not only. I mean, they have 11 titles. So they're tied with Chivas for 11 titles right now. What would a 12th mean for America at this point?
Well, a 12 would kind of just cap off what us Americanistas believe we are. We believe we're the best team in Mexico, and that 12th title will kind of would be a physical manifestation of our attitudes. We believe we're the best. We're top of the league. That 12th title would come and put us as the winningest team in Mexico in Mexican history. Right now, as it stands, 11 titles to 11 Chivas. Sure, America could use their international trophy case as the tiebreaker, but it's just so much more sweeter to have the international titles, to have more titles than any other team in Mexico, and I think it would just kind of round off this era that we're living in, where America has done things right.
All right, Tom, what are your thoughts right now? If America were to reach this 12th title, what do you think it would mean for them?
I mean, you can't be underestimated. I mean, it is a big thing in the Mexican game. I mean, this who's got the most titles and where these teams rank. And from living in Guadalajara, from a Chivas point of view, I mean, I think they're a bit scared of it. I mean, it's a bragging rights for the fans. It's something to talk about. But more than that, it's even a marketing thing for the club. So if America lift this trophy on Sunday, can guarantee the website, the Twitter, everything will be like the most successful team ever in Mexico, and they will really ram it down, Chivas fans' throat. The other thing that I think is worth mentioning is that for Tigres as well, if they win, they go to 4 titles, which levels them with Monterrey, which obviously for them is another massive occasion. So both teams have got some, obviously the motivations there wherever you play a final, but for the fans more than anything, it's something that they'll be proud of if they can achieve it.
That's a good point, actually. No one really ever talks about the fact that they would actually be tied with Monterrey, especially considering, I think it's one of the more, people can say Chivas and America are the most fierce rivalry, but you could definitely make an argument for, Tigres and Monterrey having just as fierce as a rival, especially with the fans who feel, they're so passionate up there in Monterrey. So that is interesting, because I feel like I haven't really heard too many people talk about the fact that they would be 4-4.
Here's why: Monterrey and Tigres, outside of Monterrey, they don't really matter. America is a national product, and they haven't done enough to become a global product. Chivas on the marketing side has done that. Chivas are a Mexican national product, and they're an international brand as well. America not so much, but when we're talking about brands, Tigres and Monterrey, they're, outside of Monterrey, they're, it doesn't matter.
I feel like I saw some report recently saying that, like, Tigres outside, I think other than Chivas, America, and maybe Cruz Azul and Santos, they were one of the most, I don't know if it's marketable, one of the most, wealthy or just most valuable teams in Mexico. So I think it was a Reuters article that I saw that in.
Yeah, but I think you get America and Chivas, and then there's a massive drop. And then you've got Cruz Azul and Pumas, and then there's another massive drop, and then the other teams kind of fight out for mainly regional fan bases. But those are the 4. That's why they're the big 4. It's not necessarily titles. It's because they've got fan bases. They've got fans in every city in Mexico, and obviously that extends up to the United States.
Yeah, I saw a Twitter discussion between fan groups this week. Tigres likes to claim that with their fan invasions, that they get a lot of traveling support from Monterrey, and they fill up other team stadiums with their fans in what they call an invasion. And the America fans rebutted with, we don't need fan invasions. We have fans everywhere. We don't need a big group traveling out of Mexico City to Puebla, to Querétaro. We already have enough fans in that city to fill up those stadiums.
That's definitely an interesting point. So next question, just to jump into the next one, is I thought we saw Nayib there for a second. Now I was going to ask him his thoughts, but it seemed like he just left. So some technical difficulties with Nayib right now. Perhaps it's confirmed. Some reports are saying it's confirmed. It still seems like a little bit of a rumor. But what are your guys' thoughts on Gustavo Matosas, the ex-León coach, possibly coming in as America coach? What are your guys? I mean, just in general, what are your guys' thoughts? Seems like poor timing. Why would this information be released now? How is this going to affect the team? And Tom, we'll go to you. What are your thoughts on the situation?
Yeah, I think it's on paper it's brilliant. I mean, he's a top coach. He's going to play amazing football. They're already, pretty much Darwin Quintero seems to be almost confirmed. And then you've had today, who else was it? Benedetto from Tijuana. They're exciting. But the other side, Johnny mentioned, America's been run really well in recent years, and I think it has. But this seems back to the old organization of America, where I mean, what are you doing? I mean, this stuff's leaking out. Paulie Aguilar had a fight with the coaching staff. That shouldn't have been leaked out of the club. The club's split at the minute, and I think it's highly unfair on Antonio Mohamed. And I think they're lucky that they're near the end of the season. because they can kind of focus on just winning this title rather than having a kind of 3 months left to go. Because if there's 3 months left to go, then I think the club would be completely split. So I think it's badly handled, very badly handled ahead of a final.
Yeah, Johnny, as an America fan, what are your thoughts on that situation?
Well, to begin with, I'm not as optimistic as Tom. I don't think it's a brilliant signing, Matosas. if it were to become true, I mean, I don't know. This day and age with Twitter and information just available so quickly, I think we've forgotten what official really means. Official means if Mohamed made it official, which he didn't, even though a certain TV network in the United States said he did. I watched that interview. Mohamed never confirmed anything. The club hasn't confirmed anything. All we have is a bunch of reporters saying that they confirm the news, and I'm sorry, to me that's not official. Until one of either the manager or the club, comes out and say it, it's not official to me. I know it's the most likely scenario that Mohamed is leaving. That I will agree upon, but Mohamed ran this team, and I mean, a lot of Americanistas out there, they're saying they don't like that Mohamed's tactics are not made for a big club like America. And I would heavily disagree on that. I mean, Mohamed had the second best offense in the league, only missed Leon by a goal. He had the team in first place from beginning to end. He's in the championship. I mean, we look at what we might be getting, Matosas. Matosas scratches into Liguillas in 8th place. He took Leon to the title, I'll grant him that. But are Americanistas going to be satisfied, going into Liguilla in 8th place as opposed to dominating the league from start to finish? I know I'm not. I prefer what Mohamed is doing to what Matosas does.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it'll be different, and I think that I think you're right. Mohamed has been treated badly, but I mean it's just this typical America, isn't it? I mean, America it's already in the final, first in the regular season, and then they've got this thing where obviously the club's fans think that they're more special, and that they deserve not just to finish first, but do it playing great football. I mean, and it's difficult to understand, I think, for other people's fans. I mean, I know Chivas and clubs in Guadalajara would love to be where America are, and that, on the other hand, Mohamed's style that's what his style is. What I don't understand is why he was hired. Why would you hire a manager knowing that that's his style? This was his style in Tijuana. I mean, what's going on there? I mean, America this season committed more fouls than any other team in the regular season. I mean, that's the style. I mean, that's a tactic. That's a legitimate tactic in world football these days. I mean, it stops the opposition countering, it breaks them up, and it helps you organise your team. Now, that's just what he does. He's always done that. So I don't get why he was hired in the first place.
I rather be just like America is right now with Mohamed, or like Chelsea are with Mourinho. Both top of the league. Instead of I'd rather not be the Arsenals of the world. Great attacking, free-flowing football that doesn't win you anything.
Now, considering this situation here, would you guys say that America has been unfair to Mohamed? Do you think they've been do you think it's almost like in a way like a little like rude with Turco in the way that they're treating him in the recent situation, or do you think this is just that's just the level that they expect from their coaches, and perhaps even though he's winning, they just expect a different kind of play? I know, Johnny, what are your thoughts?
Very much so. I think Mohamed deserves a lot more respect in this. I think instead of, going off and signing a new manager behind his back, I think he deserves a 5-year contract. Quite the opposite of what he's getting.
Tom, any thoughts at all on just the way that America have treated Mohamed?
Yes, I think it's poor. I mean, I don't think we know the full story. I think more's going on in the background. But for me, it always goes back to why did they hire him in the first place, knowing what he was like, and knowing there was a big difference in style between Piojo Herrera and Mohamed, and it was always going to be a transition. He dealt with it unbelievably well because he changed the team while winning, and now he's in a final, and I don't know, it'd be really nice for him to win it. I mean, it'd be nice for him to kind of like just win it and then hand in his just leave the next day and be like, right, done it. 1 year in America, won the league. See you later. I won it with Tijuana. I've won it with a small club. Won it with the big club in a bit, and wait for the offers to come in, because I tell you straight, he'll have a lot of offers, Mohamed. And Matosas again is going to change that whole style of the team, and I think that could be a problem for America moving forward. Just this constant changing of formation and tactics, and I don't know, we'll see. But they've got money and they're throwing money at it, and that helps a lot, no matter what league you're playing.
I saw a little smile there, Tom. Are you going to be rooting for America a little bit just because you feel a little pity for Turco?
Honestly, I'm not that bothered. Personally, I'm not bothered doing it.
Not enough to cheer on America.
I may not even watch the game.
I don't bother. No, but I think it's worth, for me, from the Chivas point of view, it's worth pointing out that obviously, this is Chivas fans are going to be watching this game kind of just so nervously, knowing that America could pass them on that 12th title. And you look at the state of Chivas at the minute, and you think, when's that next final going to come for Chivas? I mean, it doesn't look like it's going to be in the near future. So
the Ascenso final.
Yeah, the Ascenso. Wonder if that'll count.
All right. So before we start making fun of Chivas, so let's go to our predictions. Well, actually, wait, before we go to predictions, I skipped a question. My bad. What are our predictions for the game? What are our thoughts on the gameplay? Considering the past few games, like you guys said, there hasn't been that many goals. Are we going to expect something the same? Are we going to expect America to step it up? Are we going to expect Tigres to step it up? Or is it going to be kind of the same old that we have seen so far in this playoffs? And I'll go first to Jony on this one.
Well, from America, I think we all know what to expect. I don't think their style has changed very much. I mean, they've played the same style against Pumas. The first leg, it wasn't effective. They didn't kind of impose that. Their style wasn't effective enough to get them the goals. But they played the same style in the return leg. Same thing against Monterrey. They're going to be looking for that goal in their manner, the way they like to. And I honestly don't know what to expect from Tigres, because the away goal rule is not in place, so there's no reason for them to really protect their goal in the early minutes or this first game. So I honestly can't see how Chivas are playing this playoff match.
I think it's going to be a very similar game to the others. I think there's a lot of respect between the two teams. I don't think there's a massive difference in style between both of them either. And I think that both coaches are, from the same. And I think they're both going to go out there, and it's going to be a slow start. They're going to weigh each other up, and they're going to basically wait for mistakes. They're going to keep it as solid as possible, and wait for the other team to try and maneuver the other team out of position, but not with fast attacks, not pushing a lot of people forward. I don't know, if I was to predict a score, I'd predict a 0-0. I mean, I think it's going to be that kind of game, really, midfield battle. I mean, the only thing that could change that is an early America goal. I think that could be one of the keys to the game. An early goal, and I don't think either team are comfortable chasing. I think, if one of them falls behind, they might have to change their tactics, and I don't know in the first leg, but certainly in the second, and I don't think either want to do that. I think if it's a 0-0, both would go back to the Azteca and they'd be reasonably happy. I mean, I know what Johnny's saying. He's got a valid point that Tigres at home, there's no away goal rule in the final, but I think Tigres would be happy with the 0-0, go to the Azteca with a draw under the belt, and then see how it goes there. I mean, I don't think they'd have any problem with that.
Okay, well, you heard it here from Tom, and he skipped over to the next segment. Thanks, Tom. But he heard. Well, he said,
"No, Cesar skipping questions. Tom just had to take control."
Yeah, Tom just had to take control. Senior, well, he's a striker. So as a striker, you need to take control of the game in certain situations. It's the last 5 to 10 minutes. You're seeing that your center defensive mid like me is slacking. It makes sense. It makes sense. But Jony, what is your prediction for tonight's game?
2-0 America. Something.
2-0 America.
Nothing too brilliant either. I mean, kind of similar to the first leg, America Monterrey in the semifinals. They're just that slow but constant pressure in the early minutes. Maybe get a goal in the first 30 minutes, and one more goal to round off the night in the second half.
Wow. All right. So Johnny's predicting 2-0. Tom's predicting 0-0. I'm gonna say my prediction. I'm gonna say 1-1. I think it's gonna be a very close match. And actually, I think like in the past couple games for these squads, I think the goalkeepers are gonna stand up. Or stand out, not stand up. But I think Guzman's gonna have a fantastic performance. I think Moises Munoz is also gonna have another good game as well. So just to wrap things up, I'm going to look at some of these questions over here. Our buddy Jason, who's also one of our members of the Mexican Soccer Show, he asked a couple questions, so I'm going to bring one to each of you. So, Johnny, if America wins tonight, it means they, and then you finish that statement.
We're champions.
All right. All right, now, Tom, if Tigres wins tonight, it means they...
They're, fourth title. I think it'll be a little culmination of a little mini era for Tigres. I think Tuca Ferretti came in 2010. He's still there. He's almost the Alex Ferguson of Mexican football. I mean, 4 years. It's unbelievable. And throughout those 4 years, he came in when they were in relegation. They were battling against relegation. He's come in. They've been consistent. Although this is only the second final and they've only won one title, every regular season they're there or thereabouts. They've never had a terrible season. So I think it would be the kind of culmination of great work by Tuca Ferretti in building this mature and experienced and good Tigres side.
Yeah.
If Tigres wins, and a huge if Tigres wins, you can bet your house that they're just going to lock up 11 players in the back in the second return leg. They'll just park the bus for the second leg.
What if you don't have a house, Johnny? What if you're like me and I live in a garage that was turned into a studio? Do I bet the garage?
You bet your landlord's house, and he'll be happy with that.
Delighted.
All right, so we just got a couple more minutes until kickoff. Unless you guys have anything else to say, I think we're gonna wrap it up here. So thank you guys. All right. So we'll go first to Johnny. Johnny, any last words? Any last bits before the game starts?
No. Just let's all get ready to celebrate on Sunday the 12th, Big 12. MLS, LA Galaxy had their hashtag first to 5. America's first to the dozen.
All right. How about you, Tom? Any final?
I think we summed it up with the game. I think it's going to be pretty tight. But the other thing to look out for is the atmosphere in the stadium. 42,000 tickets just sold out ridiculously quickly. The Tigres fans they're unbelievable. I mean, they really are. It's not kind of any bias. Every week they sell out the stadium. They deserve this final. And then the return leg on Sunday in the Azteca. I mean, two great venues and occasions to host the final of the Liga MX. I think it's going to be a great occasion, if not the most exciting game.
If not the most exciting game, you heard it there from Tom. All right, well, thanks, guys. It was a little bit of a quick show. We're going to try to have, I was talking to these guys earlier today, we're going to try to have a little bit of a longer show on Sunday, perhaps even go a little bit more analysis, and maybe Weasel will be hosting that one and not forgetting questions like I was today. So be sure to follow us. We have a Facebook, Mexican Soccer Show. Follow us on Twitter.
The Mexican Soccer Show.
What was that?
The Facebook page is The Mexican Soccer Show.
Oh, the El Show Mexicano. Soccer Show Mexicano. Yeah, at the Mexican Soccer Show on Facebook.
Yeah, and then Twitter is at Mex Soccer Show.
There we go. We got anything else? Do we have an Instagram, Johnny?
No, we don't. But you know what? It's getting late. I have a game to go watch.
That's Johnny being a little impatient. So thanks, guys. Enjoy the game, and we'll see you on Sunday. All right, see you guys later.